Okay. Um, okay. So we are doing Perik Peites. It's one of the long prokim. One of the things you learn when you join any Tehilim group is you watch to see, and if Peites is coming up, you don't take on any Tehilim until you get past Peites, because it's one of the long ones. Okay, warn you of that. Not as long as Kufya test, but pretty long also, and it deals with three different themes. It deals with the first theme that it deals with, and then deals with, like, throughout the parak, is that of chesed, kindness. The other one is of Malchus based David, of the kingship through the line of David, and the third theme is that of the lack of kindness in the world, the lack of Mashiach, or Malchus based David in the world, and um, and seeing how it all connects up. So actually, one of the reasons that I chose this parak is that this whole beginning part fits very well with the pasha of the week, as you'll see as we go into it. So the opening pasuk of Peites is maskil le'esan ha'ezrachi. So this is the introduction to the whole parak, maskil. Maskil simply means something clever. Okay, it's a something clever. Generally, we have a rule that when we say Tehillim, we don't have to understand anything. Tehillim, the Yiddish expression goes, Tehillim Zokman, that we just say Tehillim, and its power is just in us saying the words, using the words. It's nice if we understand a little bit of what we're saying, but it's not essential to understand what we're saying in Tehillim. Whenever a kapitel begins with the word maskil, so from the word seichel, whenever the kapitel begins with the word maskil, the additional instruction to us is try and understand it. Okay, try and understand a bit of, like, have a little bit of seichel. And in the old days, when they used to say Tehillim together, if a parak began with the words maskil, then somebody explained it before the people actually said it. So that's the one way of understanding this. Maskil, because I'm going to go forward and backward a little bit. So this Eitan Haizrachi, who it says over here, Maskil, he was the clever man who composed this capital of Tehillim, or who explained this capital Tehillim. Who is this Eitan Haizrachi? So we told on a simple level, he was one of five brothers. They were five musicians who worked in the Beis Hamikdash. They were the children of a man named Zerach, as you see, Haizrachi, from the family of Zerach, and he was very, very wise. So that would be the simple pshat way of understanding this, who this man is. Deeper than that, the Mefarshim explained to us that Asan, it is alluding to, it's hinting to Avraham Avinu. Interesting. I was talking to Marian Sachs the other day. She just had a new grandson, Mazel Tov, and I asked what the name is, and she told me his name, whatever, is Eitan something. So I said, oh, that's nice, named after someone. She said, no, Eitan means strength. It means strong, and any Eitan who she's ever taught has a very strong personality. So interesting. Okay, I only know one Eitan really, and does he have a strong personality? I don't know. It was an interesting comment, because when I started preparing last night, it says Eitan is somebody strong, and the people who take the name of Eitan are strong people. And this is why Avraham Avinu is referred to in lots of different places as Eitan, okay, as Eitan. Actually, have to look for her and tell her. And it says Avraham got this name Eitan because he was strong, not just physically, because he was strong physically as well, but he was strong in his faith. Never didn't matter what hardships, what challenges he faced, he was strong. And why is he called Ha-Ezrachi? Because he came from the east. And so he was called Eitan Ha-Ezrachi, the strong man who came from the east. Other commentaries explain that Ezrachi just simply means a citizen, and so he was Eitan Ha-Ezrachi, Eitan, the citizen who lives here now. Some of the commentaries put the two opinions together, and they explain to us that Avraham composed this kapitel of Tehilim. He wrote it after the war with the four kings and the five kings, the war where Leit was captured. And then many centuries later, David HaMelech was being held captive by the people of Keilah. And when the war was finished and he was freed, he composed this kapitel of Tehillim based on the original composition of this kapitel Tehillim by Avraham first. So that's one of the opinions of who this Eitan Ha-Ezrachi is, how it came to be written. Was it David who wrote this? Was it Avraham who composed this? And another opinion, also brought down in the Mefarshim, is that David HaMelech loved this composition of Tehillim by Avraham, but wasn't sure if they had all the words and everything correct, and so he commissioned Eitan Ha-Ezrachi, the singer that we spoke about, to recompose it based on using what they had of Avraham's original version and tweaking it, I suppose, making it the kapitel of Tehillim that we have today, that we still say today. And so now we're going to go into the actual kapitel Tehillim with the first part of it, which is dealing with the concept of chesed. And it begins, Chasdei Hashem, the kindness of Hashem, Eilam Ashira, I will always sing about, L'dor v'dor, from generation to generation, Idea emunascha b'fi. My mouth will tell about your faithfulness to us. So, Chesed Hashem, Eilam Ashira, the kindness of Hashem, Chasdei Hashem, Eilam Ashira, the kindness of Hashem, I will speak about, I'll sing about for always. And immediately the commentaries tell us this is absolutely Avraham. Avraham was a man of chesed, as we'll speak about a little bit more afterwards. He had the midah of chesed, the trait of chesed, or chesed shebechesed, kindness of kindness, and he used his kindness in order to attract people, in order to teach people about Hashem. This was his method. Most famous medrash that you've probably heard a million times, that Avram used to invite people into his home, and then when they finished eating, after he'd given them the best meal possible, he would tell them, he would sing to them about Hashem's kindness and tell them to bench, to thank Hashem for the meal, and that's how he spread Hashem's Torah. Interesting discussion about Avraham and his midah of chesed. So Avraham, as we said, was chesed of chesed, kindness of kindness. One of the things that we read about in the parashas is that Avraham converted lots and lots of people, taught them about Hashem, taught them about Yiddishkeit, and we don't know any of them. Okay, we don't know. Like we all are descendants of Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. We never say we're descendants of Avraham. Of Avraham's people, and we don't hear anything about them. After Avraham and Sarah died, we don't hear what happened to all the people. They moved. We never hear of them again. They don't seem to have any part in Torah, Yiddishkeit. Are they Yidden? Are they not Yidden? And the answer for that, for us, which is a little bit off what I'm saying now, is that chesed by itself is not the ultimate. In other words, Avraham was chesed of chesed. He was the kindest kind man in the world, but you cannot be properly God-fearing if all you have is kindness. So you can't be properly anything if all you have is kindness. So imagine that you are such a kind person that you don't get annoyed when your child runs in the road. And I'll never give them a patch because I'm kind of kind and I don't want to hurt them. Okay, so all that will happen is that they'll be hurt. God, God forbid. So kindness has to come with some gevurah, with some might, with some discipline, with some harshness. Then we got Yitzchak, who is gevurah shabi gevurah. He is as harsh as anything. We don't hear a word about anybody who was attracted to Yiddishkeit through Yitzchak. And why is that? Because you cannot be attract people to Yiddishkeit through just gevurah. Um, it's not what people are interested in. So, just as an example, the typical way we attract people to feel good about Yiddishkeit, we invite them over, we serve them a nice meal. Shabbos. Now, imagine that you only did that, then you would have people who would not progress at all in Yiddishkeit. They wouldn't be interested in learning. They wouldn't be interested in increasing in mitzvahs. They wouldn't be interested in anything. The only thing they would be interested in is teglach, right? That's what they liked about Yiddishkeit. So we can't just be nice. We also have to tell what are the harsher things about Yiddishkeit. Now imagine the other scenario: you try and attract someone to Yiddishkeit, and all you do is tell them horrible things, or difficult things. You want to become Jewish. You know what becoming Jewish means? It means that you can't eat what you want, you can't go where you want, you can't dress what you want. You know how you keep Shabbos. You know what you have to do on Shabbos. You can't do this and you can't do that. No one would be interested either in being involved with Shabbos. So we have to find a balance. And what is the balance? Is Yaakov. Okay, Yaakov is emes. He's absolute truth. Titan emes le Yaakov. Hashem gave emes to Yaakov, and Yaakov was able to have the right amount of kindness, the right amount of chesed, and the right amount of truth, of um, of Gvura involved as well. And that's why Yaakov was able to be the father of the Jewish nation. He has 12 tribes, and from him come all of us. But Abraham is absolute chesed. Um, so what is this concept here where it says Ledor vador, to all generations, idea emunas chabafi, my mouth will tell about your emunah, your reliability, Hashem. So the Malbim explains that Hashem is always showing us reliability. What is the reliability? He says the easiest way to see if you want to have emunah in Hashem is to see the rules of nature. Just see how nature works. The sun comes up every day, goes down on the other side. Summer, winter, right? We see nature, and that makes us realize, if we stop for a minute and think about it, how Hashem and His nature are just reliable. What is the chesed that happens? Is that Hashem can do things differently from this everyday nature if He wants, and that is He can have miraculous behavior. He can split the sea if He wants, even though that's against it's against nature. It's supernatural. So anyone who's in, where is it at the moment? Not Haiti. The big hurricane that's there, the Hurricane Melissa that's busy destroying their place. So there's nature, and then there's nature, and anybody who's watching this knows that. They should know that there is a God involved in this. And what is it? The Dovador is from generation to generation, that we see the reliability of nature and we see the supernatural. We see both of them. And that's what David HaMelech is speaking about. He says, Chaste Hashem, Olam Asher. I'll always sing about the kindnesses of Hashem, the Dovador, and for all generations, Idea Emunas Chabafi. My mouth will tell about how reliable you are, Hashem. He says, Ki amarti olam chesed yibane. I've said so that's the next pasuk. Ki amarti, because I have said olam chesed yibane, the world was built on kindness. Shamayim tachin emunas chabahem. The heavens prepared, and you can see reliability, you can see emunah through them. So when the world was created, it says that the Medrash tells us that the world was like tottering as if it was a table with two legs. And then what did Hashem do? He propped it up on chesed. And it's the chesed that holds the world up. So as we said, Abraham was this ultimate chesed. Even Yitzchak, who he said was Gevura of Gevura, he was this ultimate in harshness, in Gevura. Even he was taught the greatness of chesed. It says that when Yitzchak went out, he went out to Davin, stand in the field, waiting for Eliezer to come home with a wife for him. It says V'hine gemalim ba'im, so literal level. There were camels coming. That was Rivka on the camels arriving to meet him. And immediately the Mefarshim tell us that he went out into the field. It actually means he went out and he was having this discussion with Hashem, if we could say that. Because Hashem, I see in the future that my descendants are going to spend a long time in exile. What is going to end the exile? And Hashem's answer, V'hine, what will end the exile? Gemalim ba'im, when we are busy doing gemilas chasadim, when we're busy doing kind things. So that with everything, the biggest thing that's going to bring Mashiach is chesed. Okay, it's doing kindnesses for other people. The Rebbe introduced the expression that we like to use, random acts of kindness, right? Kindness doesn't always have to come for a reason. We have to just be kind, be nice to other people, and that's what's going to bring the end of our galus. And Yitzchak, this Gevura of Gevura, was, how did his wife get chosen for him? Eliezer went looking for somebody kind. Again, for those of you who have little children, grandchildren, or whatever it is, you probably have all read the book about Rivka, and the name of the book, Kind Little Rivka, right? What was Eliezer looking for in a wife for Yitzchak? You, a man of absolute pure gevura, you need a wife who has got kindness, who is pure kindness, who is chesed. We also we know that the world is made, as he says over here, that Hashem has made the world with kindness, and the Torah begins with kindness and ends with kindness. So it says, there doesn't mean that the Torah begins with kindness. It says the beginning of the Torah shows us how kind Hashem was to Adam. Adam and Chava sinned, and what was Hashem's reaction? He gave them the gift of clothing. Even before that, what kindness did Hashem do for Adam? When Adam said, "Hey, I don't have a spouse," Hashem gave him a wife. Right? Hashem made him a wife. So the Torah begins with kindness and it ends with kindness. What is it? Where Hashem buries Moshe Rabbeinu. So we want to understand what is this concept of kindness. What does it mean when it says here, "Eilam Chesed Yibane"? The world is built on kindness, and I want to explain this with a few different ways of understanding. The first one, which I like because it's a bit of a twist on it, the commentaries explain to us that Hashem built the world in order that He can do kindness. That one of the purposes of having a world is so that Hashem can do kindness. And one of the troubles that we have in Golus is that we don't always see or understand Hashem's kindness. That's why we call Golus a darkness of that is pitch black. Okay, what do we mean when we say the world is absolutely dark? Is when we don't understand what Hashem's kindness is or where Hashem's kindness is. But the purpose of Hashem's creating the world was Eilam Chesed Yibane. Hashem built this world so that He could do kindness for us. The Mefarshim explained to us that there is so much kindness in the world, and the most difficult thing is that we don't know how to accept or receive kindness. So just as a big thing, no one wants to be a chesed case, right? Don't want to be a rachmanis. Right? I don't want people to have to be kind to me. we don't like that feeling that we being a um, people are feeling sorry. They're feeling sorry for us, and it's a silly thing of us. If we could explain it, it's our natural instinct. We don't want to people to have to be kind to us. But this is what Hashem wants. He wants people to be kind and nice to each other. And I always remember that, like how do you say, Nish Gedacht or whatever. We were living in Cape Town, and it was Erev Shavuos. It was like 2 days before Shavuos, which was a 3 day holiday, and I had a stillborn baby. And when I came home on the Erev Shavuos, the day like the day before 3 day Yontif, my friends had filled my fridge, okay, my house. There was nothing missing, not only nothing missing, but more food than we could eat in those 3 days of Yontif, and of all different kinds of beautiful things and gifts and salads and desserts. And I had more bubble bath than I could ever bath for. And my immediate feeling, I remember that I opened up my fridge and I burst into tears. I said, I don't want all this kindness. I don't. This isn't what I want. I learned afterwards to be grateful. Okay, but those few minutes, my reaction was not to appreciate the kindness, because our human reaction is, I don't want kindness. I want to be able to manage on my own. I want to be able to be okay. That's our first human behavior. And it's because in those moments we don't realize that this kindness that we're getting from other people is actually kindness from Hashem. He built the world, Hashem built the world in a way that our friends, our relations, our acquaintances are going to be kind to us. And that kindness actually comes from Hashem. That's first understanding of it. Another level of why we struggle with kindness is because we all think, and then we grow up, but we all think that all the good that we have in the world is because we deserve it. And I often joke, you've heard me saying it many times. Um, if we realized how little we deserved, I always take offense to people saying, "Oh, you should have a year of everything great and get everything you deserve." I don't want everything I deserve. I want much, much more than what I deserve. Okay, I want lots and lots of chesed. Like real chesed that's easy to accept, chesed from Hashem. So we think that when people do nice things for us, it's because we deserve it. We've done nice things for them. When Hashem does nice things for us, we like to think it's because we good. We did mitzvahs. Now Hashem is rewarding us. And no, says David HaMelech, Eilam Chesed Yibane. Hashem does things for us simply because He's kind. And He makes people do things for you simply because He's kind. And so don't be embarrassed to accept kindness. Thank Hashem for the kindness which He has created the world with, and do kindness because this world Hashem created so that chesed could be expressed in it. And that's actually why in the next parashas where we'll see stone has to be destroyed. Why can't stone just be fixed? It has to be destroyed because it's the opposite to what Hashem intended for the existence of the world. People who don't have kindness, who don't care about their neighbors, that's not how Hashem wanted the world to be created. So the only way of dealing with stone was to destroy it. That's not the way Hashem intended. So Hashem created this world where people need chesed. We actually say it every time we bench and short benching, and we say Beren Nefashos Rabbos. Hashem created lots of people, and they're all missing something. What does it mean they were missing something? We are missing the kindness that other people and Hashem are going to give us. And then the commentaries explain to us that the way Hashem made chesed in the world is that chesed makes chesed. So I'd like a simple example of that. Somebody opens the door for you, your reaction is to smile at them. You smile at someone and you're already in a better mood, and then you're sitting in the room and someone comes in who needs a seat and you stand up for them, right? So it's because you're there. If you were in a fraught mood when you walked in, you wouldn't be standing up for anyone. So the act that one person does of just showing a simple kindness, opening the door for someone, already makes the next person kind, and the next person kind, and the next person kind. And that's what David HaMelech means when he says, Eilam chesed yibane. The way that the world works is that chesed builds chesed. Eilam, the world is built chesed by kindness, which yibane, which rebuilds. Okay, the chesed rebuilds. And the Yalkut Shimonia tells a story of two rabbis walking on Harabayas, Rabbi Yeshua and Rabbi Yishmael. And Rabbi Yeshua says, Oilanu, woe to us that we don't have a Beis HaMikdash anymore, and woe to us that we have no place to bring korbanos, and woe to us that we aren't able to atone for the sins that we've done. And Rabbi Yishmael's response was, yes, but these days we have chesed, right? So we can connect with Hashem through chesed. Also want to comment on the became very trendy response when good things happen to us, that we say Chasdei Hashem. Okay, so instead of just saying thank you, Baruch Hashem, Todah Hashem, which is how we always used to respond, it became very trendy now to respond to good things happening to us as Chasdei Hashem. It's the kindness of Hashem, and that's a deeper lesson for us, because what is it saying? It's saying all this good that I got from Hashem is His kindness. It's Chasdei Hashem. It's the kindness of Hashem. Also, the commentaries tell us that each of us is a world, and ourselves, we are a world, an olam. Our homes are a world, an olam. Our families are our world, and we have to keep on reminding ourselves, olam chesed yibane. You want to build yourself up? Build yourself up on chesed, on kindness. You want to build up your home? Build it up. Eilam chesed yibane. Your world of home, you can build up by being kind to each other, your own family. You want to build up your social world? Do it. Eilam chesed yibane. Build your world with kindness. Have kindness in it. The David HaMelech continues, pasuk. Hey, I'm just looking at the time. Okay, I think I'll do another pasuk. Karasi brisi livchiri. I made a promise, the one I have chosen. Nishbati the David Avdi, an oath to my servant David. And Farshim tell us that there were two people with whom Hashem made a promise about their futures, and this was Avraham. Again, that's this parsha where Hashem promises Avraham that there will be a future, there will be Yidden, they'll carry on forever and ever. And Hashem promises David HaMelech that there will be a future from his descendants, that he'll have descendants who are kings and melucha, until it will come to the time of Mashiach. And this is the promise that he makes, pasuk hey, Ad Eilam Achin Zarecha, I will establish your children forever, Uvanisi l'dor vador kisachar sela, and I will build your throne for generations and generations. And the Rambam explains this, that this is a promise that's a forever promise. Hashem promises that there will be Yidden and they will go all the way to Mashiach. The Rambam explains the rule. He says that once a king is anointed, all worthy descendants can inherit this monarchy. And so, what's the big deal of this promise? So the big deal over here is that Hashem promises this king, both Avraham and David, that no matter how the people behave, when they are worthy, I will make them great. And the biggest promise which he makes to David HaMelech is that David's descendants will have the qualities that they are supposed to, and when they nurture them properly, then these descendants are going to be Mashiach, as we say, Mashiach ben David, And it's when we see the Dover Dor Kisachaselo, I promise I will build your throne forever, forever and ever. And I guess that is where we will go up to today.
Thank you, Ricky. I managed
Managed.
to get back. I missed the beginning. Okay. I listened to your recording.
Okay. If I managed
Thank
it
you,
properly.
Ricky.
Thank you.
Take
Thanks,
care
Rusty. Thanks,
and have a
everybody.
good Shabbos. Take care, everyone.